So on our next Foyr talk here, I have Michelle Lynne, who I happen to know personally, so a big fan. She's always easy to introduce. She's going to cover the important topic of the profiting from process systems. Stop trading your time for money, which is something that's near and dear to my heart. Michelle is the president of ML Interiors Group and founder of Design for the Creative Mind. Michelle also runs online course teaching other interior designers how to structure their firm for maximum freedom and profit. And I'm proud to call her my friend. So Michelle, take it away. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Rich. I am always happy to work with you guys and appreciate your support. I am just going to dive right in. I've got a screen share here, and we're going to be talking about literally how to not trade your time for money. So moving forward, again, my name is Michelle Lynne. I'm the president of ML Interiors Group, and it's a successful interior design firm here in Dallas, Texas. And I've created a platform called Design for the Creative Mind, which is all about the business of interior design. So a little bit about my story. Y'all, I did not start my career in interior design. I actually started my career managing restaurants right out of college. So I was like 12 years old practically. And a funny story is I would go up to tables that had a problem and they would ask for the manager. And more often than not, I was actually misidentified as the hostess. So it's just a great learning tool working in restaurants. I learned a lot about processes in that industry, which is why I bring it up, not to just make fun of myself walking up to a table and being mistaken for the hostess. And then from restaurants, I jumped into a cubicle. I actually was in a recruiting industry. I was an area director for a local boutique firm here in Dallas, Texas as well. And from there, I thought, you know, I always enjoyed interior design and was doing it on the side. And I liked the people I was working with, but I didn't love the job. So when the company sold, I decided I was going to get out of corporate altogether. So my ego thought that I knew what I was doing when I started my interior design business. I was so wrong. I had no idea how to run projects. I kept forgetting details. I did things out of order. And then, you know, you have to dance around it with your clients. I was working way too many hours. I wasn't making enough money, tiptoeing around how I charged. I actually lost money. So if any of this sounds familiar to you, you're in the right place, because I crashed and burned and I almost had to throw in the towel. But then I became obsessed. Like, I knew that I could do this. I had to get things in order. So fast forward to today, wearing a lampshade on my head, not to brag, just to show you what's possible. I've got a 7-figure business. I have kick-ass clients and projects, and 98% of it is fun. And it's all because of the processes. Now I say 98% of it is fun because it's still a job, but it's still a good time. And again, just sharing with you how processes and procedures have changed my life and my business. You know that when you're running a business, there's not a lot of free time and you can't really leave. But I've had the opportunity to travel so much. You know, here we are in Carmel, spent, you know, a couple of weeks on the Amalfi Coast. And now I have dedicated family time. I'm not getting interrupted. I have boundaries in place. Weekends, nights, and holidays are mine. So I just want to share with you that what I'm about to teach you, you can apply to your business as well. And I'm nothing special. So let's dig in and show you how you can change your life. So take a screenshot of this. We're going to go through each of the 7 steps and then we're going to recap it real quick. But we're going to start by identifying your uniqueness. What does that mean? Well, basically that means that working in your own zone of genius is key. Identifying what makes you special is going to attract clients who appreciate you for you, rather than trying to be somebody else, somebody that you think you should be, like, and that's air quotes, should be. When I first got into interior design, I thought I should be all designery and stuff, and I'm not. So once I was able to say, this is who I am, the clients that I attracted were aligned with me. So homework for you is write down 3 things that make you unique. Again, take a screenshot so that you remember what you should be doing. What makes you unique, or what makes you different from one of your favorite interior designers on social media or whatever, and expand on that. Like, being different is a positive. What is your superpower? Like, what makes you unique? This is a great jumping off point for identifying your you-ness. And this is not something that you're going to have to do all the time, but it is a process that you'll build on over the years as you grow and mature in your business. So when I first started my business, I thought I was going to be glamorously functional interior design for the busy professional. And it felt right to me at the time, but glamorously functional meant that I needed to probably wear a dress and high heels when I showed up for client meetings. And that's just not who I am in my essence. I thought I was, probably because I'd been wearing a business suit to work for corporate for so long. But in all reality, it wasn't comfortable. So once you go through that, you'll be able to re-identify it as you grow and, like I said, mature into your business. Hold on. Of course, I wasn't coughing on my conversations earlier this morning, but now I am. So moving forward, the next step is you want to attract clients who align with your style and personality. That's what I was just talking about. People who appreciate you and your style, and not just your design aesthetic, like you as a person. That uniqueness that you're going to identify in step number 1. Maybe you already wrote out 3 things that were unique about you. If not, go back and do it. But excuse me, that is what they're going to appreciate. You need to use your voice in everything that you do. Your social media, your advertising, your website copy, your newsletters, your emails, and on and on and on. So think about this. Are you formal or are you casual in your manner? Because your ideal client is going to be similar. Do you prefer skirts and high heels or jeans and flip-flops? So you might not share a wardrobe with your client, but you will have a lot in common. Every once in a while, I show up with some of my clients and we're dressed in a very similar manner. So it's funny, it happens. So do you occasionally swear or are you Miss Manners? And funny story, I've had more than one client tell me that they trusted me more because I said a cuss word in our conversation. No, I did not drop the F-bomb, but you know, something came flying out of my mouth and I said, oops. And they were like, nope, actually that makes me like you and trust you a little more. I'm like, okay, whatever works, but it's me being me. So the voice and the zone of genius that you kind of identified in step 1, it's going to be heard by your people. They are going to be the ones who hire you. And y'all, those people are golden to work with. It's like you're working with your friend, but you're getting paid. So step number 3 is to create services within your zone of genius. What I mean by that is identify what you need in order to design the business that serves the life that you love. For example, do you want to develop long-term relationships and work closely with your design clients? Or would you prefer to work from anywhere and create e-design services for anybody around the globe? Like you could be laying on the beach doing your e-design. Do you want to shop retail for your clients and just send them on their way to go and do the shopping? Or do you want to provide only selections that you get to the trade? Or maybe you want to create like 100% custom solutions. So how about a combination of all of the above? Finding these services is what you can build your business around. And side note is I do see some comments coming through. Oh, come here. I do see some comments coming through and I will get to those as we get to the end. So I see you. I'm just not reading you so I can stay focused here. Step number 4, whoops. Pricing your services transparently and repeatably. And I know transparency is like such an overused term. And I'm not telling you that you need to like show your clients your exact calculations, but what you want to do is create a pricing structure that you can use repeatably as and it's as simple as creating a formula that you can apply to any space. You want to be able to explain it to your prospective clients without having to literally justify your hours or your hourly rate, because justifying your hours just gives you that anxiety and that pit in your stomach. And it's also interesting because sometimes it might take you 8 hours to find the perfect couch, but then everything else falls together in place. And how do you explain taking 8 hours to find the perfect couch? It's such a difficult place that you back yourself into. So it's also, if you're fast, you're working yourself out of money. So if it takes, you know, a designer Debbie like 2 hours to finish something, and it takes designer Dan 5 hours to do the same thing, then designer Debbie is screwing herself out of money. So if you're designer Debbie, you are efficiently working yourself out of a job. So throw away the hourly model and implement what I call a value-based fee system that your clients will love. And value-based, it's a fancy term for lump sum. So when you're talking to your clients and they're asking how you charge, you can basically just tell them it's a value-based fee. I charge you X number of dollars, and you don't have to worry about, you know, weekly invoices or monthly invoices. Step 5, creating repeatable revenue streams within your zone of genius. So going back to step number 3, what type of business did you decide worked for your life? Do you want to lay on the beach and do e-design? Do you want to develop long-term relationships with your clients and help them with their home over the course of a couple of years, and then maybe their next home, maybe their vacation home? Or do you want to just work retail so that you can hop onto potterybarn.com and order it and send it away, and you don't have to deal with the receiver? So, or procurement and all sorts of tracking and that sort of stuff. So what type of business did you decide worked for your life in that step? From there, build more income streams based on the business you want to create. So include an add-on or complementary services to add to your outcomes and to your income. And what I mean by that is, if you want to do to the trade, then you should be selling that furniture at a margin. So you're not necessarily just charging a flat design fee, a value-based fee, but you're also marking up your furniture so that you're making profit from selling that furniture. It's something you can explain to your client. What we basically do is we charge the flat fee, and then we sell them the furniture, but we sell it at a little bit of a discount, so it's still less than MSRP more often than not. So they feel like they're getting a good value as well. So you balance it, but you can literally double your revenue in a year, in less than a year, like quickly, if you're doing a lump sum fee and selling furniture. So step number 6 is delivering an experience. If you think about it, and especially right now when we've all been in our homes and online shopping like crazy. I don't know about you guys, but Amazon, like, I think they have autopilot to my house. But people right now, they are ordering and getting things quickly. So what you do is not a quick service. It takes a while to create a good design and to make sure your space plan is in place and your scale and your proportion and all of that. So you can offset their want for an immediate gratification with delivering an experience. So what you do is you outline all of the steps involved during a design project. Easy: research, development, procurement, and installation. Drill down into those 4 phases of any design and inject your unique touches and celebrations along the way. So make the journey an experience and not just a service delivered. So for example, one of the things that we've done recently is we had a client, she loved purple. It was the daughter of this client. So it wasn't the daughter that was actually paying, because she was like 7 years old, but she loves purple. So we did purple in her room, did purple here, did purple there. And part of the fun thing is that we came over just to do a project walkthrough, And we brought some purple nail polish for her and her mom. And so it was just a fun little touch, and you put it in a little bag, and in the South, you call it a little sussy when you drop it off. So those are fun little experiences. If you're doing a kitchen remodel, maybe what you do is you buy them a gift certificate to go out for dinner, or you bring them a casserole that they can put in the fridge outside in the garage, but they can cut it up and put it in the microwave that they have moved into the den or something. So you're wanting to create an experience and not just delivering the beauty. And finally, step number 7 is that you want to remain top of mind. So you want to stay in touch, and you want to gather future referrals with today's clients. So how do you do that? Well, you have an email list, and you should be doing newsletters. You should be doing your blogs and sending those out on a regular basis, because what happens is if you're writing a blog once a month, or once every couple of weeks, or once a week, whatever floats your boat, whatever you have time for, you can automatically send it to your email list of your clients. And so they will just have a personal touch from you on a regular basis. Birthday cards. Holy moly, who doesn't love getting birthday cards? Like, I love getting a birthday card in the mail and not an email. So an email birthday wish is just not as personal as the service that we provide. So on your questionnaire, early in the process, gather the birth dates, keep a spreadsheet, put it in your calendar. There is a service called Postable. I don't get any kickback from them, but Postable, you can go in and pre-program everything. They send you an email saying, hey, you have some birthdays coming up, and then you can send it. Or you just have your list that you look at every month, and you address them and put do not open until on their birthday, and then you just pop it in like the 25th of every month. So then there's also social media. So commenting on your previous clients' posts, like, holy cow, when did she grow up? Or, oh boy, your dog is so cute, or anything along that line. Just staying positive with them, and just being friendly. Holiday cards and gifts. So we send holiday cards every year to anybody pretty much who has been a client. If you are a current or recent client, then you're getting gifts. But who doesn't love to get holiday cards or gifts in the mail? And then another thing is an installation day surprise. So you're coming over with a bottle of champagne, or a charcuterie board that you can leave with them, and just having some fun with them. But also the installation day anniversary surprise. So you can send, like here in Texas, we have what's called Tiff's Treats. You can send some cookies to them and say, it was such a sweet day this time last year, or Harry and David, or just send whatever. And then you just surprise them with that. So it's a great way to remain top of mind, so that they can sing your praises as you're not in their home anymore, but they can remember you and refer you to their friends and family. Not that they wouldn't anyway, but if you're still there on a regular basis, it's helpful. Okay, what are the benefits of this? And I will have a screenshot of all 7 here in just a minute, and I'll get to the chat. But the benefit of projects that are run through processes, and you share the process with your clients in the beginning of your design process, your projects reflect the ease of the client trusting you to do your thing. It's not the tail wagging the dog, it's you driving that bus, and they trust you. You get paid well. The lump sum fee, the value-based fee, is a fabulous way to not just justify the quote unquote hours that you're going to be working on the project, but what about the emails that you're sending? What about the time that you're thinking about the project? How do you bill when you're about to fall asleep? Oh yeah, that's a great idea. And you go to sleep. Or even weirder is like when you're thinking about the project in the shower, how do you bill for that? Like thinking about you in the shower on your timesheet? No. So if you can lump it all together and just say, this is what it's going to cost you, it has been phenomenal for us. And then your clients are trusting you, and you're all having fun throughout this experience. because it has been well outlined through these processes. So recap, identify your uniqueness, attract clients that align with your authentic voice and style, create services that align with your zone of genius and the life that you want to create, pricing your services in a manner that you can repeat easily and is a lump sum or value-based fee. I can't tell you how much I really believe in that. It's changed our life from a financial standpoint, from a business standpoint. Creating repeatable revenue streams within your zone of genius. So if you're doing e-design, another example of adding money and adding revenue to that is that you can become an affiliate and get paid by people clicking through your links when you send them selections. Step number 6, deliver an experience. And step number 7 is don't become a distant memory. So I'm going to leave that up, cruise on over here to the comments in the chats and see what we've got going on. All right. Oh, thank you for the picture. That was, so yeah, that was before, Zoe, that was before I chopped off all my hair. This is what we call the COVID chop.
Hey, Michelle.
Yeah,
I've got a few questions I could tee up for you so you don't have to thumb through everything.
Oh, that would be cool. Thank you.
Sure. Someone just asked, how did you reach your clients when you first started out?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So it was, I didn't pay for anything. It was having a good presence on my website. So get a good website and invest in a little bit of SEO, search engine optimization, and then get active on social media. You literally just need to be out there on a daily basis. We still get quite a bit of business from social media because in our industry, it's not like you can walk up, like go to the fancy neighborhood in your city and knock on a house and say, hey, can I see your house? Oh, it's ugly, you need to hire me. No, you have to be available to hashtags and to Google searches and Google Maps and Google My Business. All of this stuff is pretty much free.
Yep. Awesome. Another question coming in from Valerie is, how do you generally determine a value-based project dollar amount?
So basically what we've done is you have to start with a lot of data points from previous projects, or you're just kind of cross-referencing how many hours you think it's going to take for you to get the job done. So if you've been in business for a while, hopefully you've been tracking your hours and you can go back and you can say, okay, so this was how many hours, and you can cross-reference it and create a value-based feed that way. We do it by the square foot. And so we took how many hours and then we were able to say, this room is going to need, I don't know, the entire room done, or it's just going to need accessories or anything along that line. And you kind of break the room down into layers and you can say it's this many dollars for 2 layers. It's this many dollars for 3 layers. And so it's also gut instinct. But one thing I will say is if you're just guesstimating your time and you just want to present it that way for now, double what you're probably charging by the hour right now anyway. And what I mean by that is if your hourly rate is $100, double it to 200, estimate how many hours you're going to need and charge that. And it doesn't feel comfortable.
That means it's definitely the right thing to do.
Yeah. And here's the deal also is you want people to say no. If everybody is saying yes, then you're priced too low. And you're getting those little itty bitty projects that are like gnats because they're little itty bitty projects and they're just buzzing around you. You want the big juicy projects. And in order to in order to create the confidence in your client, the processes that you create are going to give you confidence. So when you deliver your message and you deliver your fee, you're doing it with utter confidence that you're going to be able to guide them through this process. And then they're going to more likely than say yes, or they might edit your proposal and say, let's do half now and do half later, but you're still not giving your services away on an hourly rate.
Yeah, makes sense. And then one from Kelly, when coming up with a lump sum pricing for
Mhm.
clients, what do we base it on? For example, do we go off of our experience, client list, ego?
Would you read that first part of the question, Rich, please?
Yep. When coming up with a lump sum pricing for clients, what do we base it on? Either
So
experience, client list, ego.
so ego, I would add to it because as designers, oftentimes um, we don't have enough confidence, so we need to add some ego to ourselves. But a lot of it's going to be experience, and a lot of it's going to be in your market. Like I'm in Dallas, I can probably charge more than somebody in another smaller town that doesn't have the same demographic. But then there's also parts of Dallas that wouldn't pay my fees anyway. But it's going to depend on your deliverables. So if you're doing a kitchen renovation, are you creating construction documents with the electrical plan? Are you providing documents that they can take and use to pull permits? If you are, then you can charge more per square foot than if you're just coming up with design boards and making the tile selections and so forth. Um, Experience is part of it, but I'll tell you, with some of my students who they're extremely talented and they have the process that I've taught them in place, they've come out of the gate charging really well. And it's just based on that little bit of ego and that little bit of confidence too. I hope that answered your question.
Yep, that's great. We have one from Linda. When charging a flat fee, how do
Mhm.
you phase the fee throughout the project? Also, are there any clauses or tips you recommend putting in your contracts?
Oh, that's a good question, Linda. Okay, so there's a couple things. That's kind of a two-part question. So what we do is we have a design fee, and 99% of the time we get half of it when they sign the agreement and half of it on or before the day of the presentation. There are some clients that are like, hey, I don't feel like giving you all the money before I've seen the presentation is comfortable. So we'll say, totally not a problem. We'll do 50%, 40%, and then you can hold 10% hostage to make sure that I make any revisions that you want. And that's totally fine. Then we charge a procurement fee, which I'll tell you seems like a new found idea. But when I was coming up with with these processes, I was coming in completely ignorant, not knowing that that's not what the design industry had done in the past. And I'm like, it's a service I'm providing. So I'm going to charge a procurement fee as soon as the design has been approved, and then we start the ordering. So I charge a procurement fee. It's not a profit center, but it just covers my costs basically. And then, so that's how we phase that out. Some clauses in your contract. One of my favorites that is applicable to that is how many revisions are you allowed? What we do is we write it in, you are allowed X number of revisions per room. And I say X because sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 3. It just depends on the scope of that room or of the project. And then from there, we charge a change order fee. And so you have to document every change order and you charge them a fee. And the reason why we do that, and I know that so many of you guys have experienced this, is like you give them this beautiful design, the whole room on a platter. It's like all thought out. You backed into their budget. It's like, it works. And then they're like, well, what other rug do you have? And then what other rug? What other one? What other one? What other one? When you know that the rug that you chose them is the one that fits into their budget, it's the right size, it has the right colors, it keeps you from becoming their personal shopper. So that's a huge thing to put into your contract.
Yeah, I'm going to ask a personal one from me, just from an
Mm-hmm.
earlier talk that I sat in. I'd like your, your feedback on it, which is focus on getting paid for your design expertise and treat product income as a bonus. Procurement is a luxury service. Where do you stand on that, and how do you feel about that?
So I agree that procurement is a luxury service. We have a ladder of services that we offer our clients because we think that not everybody, but most people should be able to get good design. And I don't want to lose out on the project because I'm insisting that everything has that luxury turnkey service. So we have what we call our concierge, which is the to the trade, includes procurement, and you get that luxury concierge service. We also have what we call modified concierge, which is where we still come up with a beautiful design. They still get the experience, but we're sourcing from retail and they go procure it. So they're the ones that are dealing with the broken headboards as they show up, or tracking and it being delivered to the wrong place, or you know, something pink showing up when it's supposed to be purple. So I believe that yes, it is a luxury service, but you can also gather more projects by sharing with the client, why don't we do this luxury service on the first floor and all the main areas and your master bedroom or whatever, and then the second floor that's maybe the guest room, the kids room, here in Texas, the media room, the whatever room, like that can be modified. So you do, I'm going to design this, you do all the ordering, I'm going to design this, and I'll do all the ordering. So we've secured more jobs that way because we've given it a little bit of a hybrid than I'm just so excited because it gives everybody the option.
Yep. Oh, okay. Awesome. Another question came in. Should you supply client receipts for retail projects?
For retail projects, so for retail projects, you could if they need to return it. For retail projects, we have them doing the ordering. So I couldn't tell you should you, because I haven't had that experience. If it's a retail product, you could easily hand everything over to them in case they needed to track it, but you'd have to put it in your contract that once the receipt is handed over, that any responsibility that you have of solving any problems is gone with that receipt. So at that point, when you're handing everything over, like here's your living room binder full of receipts. If anything goes wrong, breaks, damaged, you know, or whatever, it's your responsibility to handle because now you have the receipt.
Okay, got it. Awesome. And then we have a few more minutes, so I'm going to ask another one. I had heard earlier also that clients tend to be hesitant to give a number when asked for a budget or expectation of what they want the project to go. What's your take on that?
It's so true, because what's your first thought? It's like, if I tell you that my budget is, and I'm just $100,000, well, then you're going to spend $100,000, even if you could have gotten it done for 75. So the way I have found phrasing it is, when you're first talking to them about money, is asking them, do you have a budget in mind, or do you need help developing one? And then they might say, okay, well, I have a budget in mind, but I could definitely use some help to see if I'm on point. And then we do help them develop a budget so that they're realistic and they're not expecting their entire living room to look like Architectural Digest for $5,500. We walk them through all of that. If they don't have a budget and they don't want to move forward with you just yet, a trick is to tell them, okay, great, go to roomandboard.com or go to restorationhardware.com or go to your favorite online store, serenaandlily.com, and go, it doesn't matter if it matches, but go put everything that you know you're going to need in that room in your cart and see how it adds up. You're going to need a rug. You're going to need 2 chairs. You're going to need a coffee table. You're going to need side tables. You're going to need lamps. And it might not be what you would select, and it might not be everything that we would put into your room. Don't forget the curtains. Don't forget the pillows. Don't forget some of the accessories. And they're going to see it go. So that's a way to talk about budget. Offering to help has oftentimes softened that conversation as well. And then joke about it. Say, I know you don't want to tell me what you want to spend because you think I'm going to spend all of it. But what I want is, I want referrals from you. I want you to trust me enough to know that I am a good steward of your money. And so you can tell your friends and family, hey, call Michelle. Like, we gave her a budget and she backed right into it. And so you can also take the fear away from them by acknowledging that fear.
Awesome. We have another one that just came in now. It says, and this is probably perfect for you because you did this, but in a COVID situation that is affecting the economy, what are some tips that you would give to someone just starting out?
That ladder of services. So I started my business in 2008, which was in the middle of the Great Recession. So I want to tell you, for those of you who are just starting out and it feels so scary and COVID is an obstacle, create that ladder of service, create an e-design service, create the luxury full scale, and create the modified so that people who they still want changes, maybe they can't afford the full hand-holding full service interior design, but they can get the modified. And talk to, when you're marketing, talk to the pain points. Like, are you sick and tired of being in your house and looking at everything that's wrong with it? Call me, I have solutions for you. And then you can walk them through their options. So I will also say, don't lose hope, because this is not going to last forever. And if you focus on the obstacle is going to be in front of you. Focus on solving people's problems, not your own. So we can get a little woo-woo on that and the energy that you're sending out, but there's not enough time for
that. Awesome. And someone just posted, what is a good percentage markup? So I'm not sure, it's a little nebulous, but I'm assuming maybe on your design.
So I'm going to actually think it's probably a markup on the furniture. And that's going to depend on the vendor. So you are purchasing it, like we have vendors to the trade that are all over the place. So we don't have a standard markup because sometimes we get 20% off of retail. Sometimes we get 50% off of retail. Sometimes we get 75% off of retail. So depending on the vendor, what you would want to do is you would just want to, like for us, because we give part of our discount to our clients, we want to mark it up to just under retail. So it could be anywhere between 10 and 20% less than retail that we're selling it to our client for. So you have to talk to your vendor, find out what they are offering you, because then you also have vendors that you do a lot of business with, so you get a deeper discount. Find out from them what they suggest. And oftentimes they'll walk you through, this is what most designers do. We don't put an MSRP on there, but you could mark it up 100%. You can mark it up 75% and still come in reasonable.
All right, awesome. We have one more question and then we're going to wrap it up.
Perfect.
This came from Linda. I usually select items on my own to get client approvals with little shopping time. With a flat fee, how do I curb shopping time so I'm not running around spending more time than necessary?
So I would begin with the end in mind, and I would begin with what are the expectations of the design? And running around less than necessary, does that mean that you're not going to have as good of a design? No, your goal is you take as much time as you need to create a great design. So you give them a flat fee that gives you that breathing room. So that's why I would say, if you're charging $100 an hour for your business right now, start by okay, this is mentally. When I say if you're charging $100 an hour right now, mentally up that to 150 to 200, because I know you're giving a bunch of your time away because you're not charging for your drive time while you're shopping, Linda, like from here to there and they're back. That should all be basically compensatable. So if you can, in your mind, create a fee that allows for 40 hours, but you're calculating it at 150 or 175 or 200 instead of your standard 100, then you have your breathing room and you don't have to feel like, oh shoot, I have to pick something out right away because I'm running out of time. And then your design is less than stellar because previously you were taking your time to shop. So you just buy some breathing room in that, and then you can cross-reference how many hours you have to stay profitable. But all of this cross-referencing is only a mental thing. You're still calculating a flat lump some value-based fee that your clients will love. And I'll tell you, when we first started doing this, there were a couple designs where I was like, oh shoot, that wasn't big enough. I need to charge more next time. So you're still keeping track of your hours in your project management software. And then you can go back and create your data points from it. I wasn't losing money because I was also selling furniture. But I looked at it and I was like, oh man, I probably could have used another 10 hours in that room. So it's not going to come overnight. You have to keep the analysis going on, but it's a much more profitable, and then it's fun to play. Like, okay, so I should get this room done in 25 hours. Oh, dude, I got it done in 19 hours. Doesn't mean you need to lower your prices. It just means that your profit just went up.
Awesome.
Yay,
All right.
thank you. I've got one more thing.
Yeah.
A gratuitous plug to join me if you guys are interested. November 9th through the 13th, if you go to designforthecreativemind.com, Foyr is a wonderful sponsor for us, and we've got a live as well as live streamed options. So check it out there.
Yep. And remember, the key takeaway, it's okay to drop the F-bomb if it's you being you.
No F-bomb, I promise. I've never dropped the F-bomb with a client.
As always, pleasure. Very much
Thank
enjoyed
you.
this, Michelle. Got great feedback. Everybody was very, very into this. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. We'll see you
All right.
soon.
We'll talk soon. See ya.
Bye.